Hey guys, welcome back to All About the Fishing. I'm out here in the Proserpine River today. I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to throw your cast net. It's blowing about 25 knots today, so I'm just trying to find somewhere that's out of the wind. Easy to throw the cast net if you're not throwing it straight into the wind, but if we have to do that to catch a few prawns today, that's what we'll do. But anyway guys, quick rundown of what I'm going to be using. I like to use a 10-foot net. The reason I stick to 10 foot and don't go any bigger is I feel like if you go much bigger than 10, you kind of got to put the net over your shoulder, and then you're likely to get covered in water and mud, and it's just not very nice. But the 10-foot net, you can get a nice big opening in that and catch plenty of bait. So, hey guys, it's a bit windy today, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm just going to go through what net I use and how I set it up. This is a 10-foot net. It's a bottom pocket. It's mono and it's got 3/4 inch mesh. I like the 3/4 inch because anything that is too small to get stuck in 3/4 inch, I don't want it anyway. So it'll just get out of the net while I'm pulling it in. Ideally, I want prawns and mullet if they're available, but my primary bait when I'm fishing for barra and threadies is prawns. I throw the net with my right, so I'm going to have the net looped around my right wrist. I'm just going to make small coils with the rope until I get down to the top of the net. Now I want to get 2 loops of net, roughly a third each time of the net each time. So I'm going to stand up, stretch it out a little bit. Yep, that's roughly a third. I make a loop. I make one more loop. Now I've got roughly a third hanging. I don't want it all tangled, so I sort of give it a jiggle, spread it around a little bit, make sure it's all sitting fairly even. And I'm just going to spread it out a little bit, just the front half. I'm going to take roughly a third of the net. I'm going to try to make it sit nice and flat on the top of this coil, like that. Now I'm going to get about another third of the net, and I'm going to pull it out. Just take your time, doesn't have to be super fast. And I've got about a third of the net left laying on the pontoon. Now, so I've got a third in my hand, a third in this hand, and a third laying here. Now all I've got to do is just throw it in a circular fashion and try to get it to open. So just nice and gentle. Beautiful. 10-foot net, opened all the way. I'm just going to pull it back in, nice and slow, dragging it along the bottom. I'm using a bottom pocket net. I can give it a jiggle if I want. Try and get the prawns to come up to the top. But all I'm trying to do is close the bottom of the net and catch any baits in there that could be there. Didn't really get much that time. Might try the other side of the pontoon. So I'm just going to set it up again. Part of the reason I use it this way is it's fast. If the bait's hard to get, you might be throwing the net for a couple of hours. If it takes you 5 minutes to get the net ready each time, you're not going to get many casts in. And maybe the tide comes in by then and all the bait disappears or something like that. So you need to be able to do it fast and effective. I'm going to try it off the other side. You might get a bit of wind noise here, guys. Now, the net didn't open very well that time because I was throwing it into the wind. Once again, I'm just dragging it along the bottom. Yeah, I can see the prawns jumping already. So nothing on that side, plenty of prawns on this side. Bring my net up. Important note, guys, I live in the Whitsundays and it's February. It's stinger season. So pay attention to what you're doing. Don't just grab hold of the net. You've got to have a good look at it. Make sure there's no box jellyfish or irukandji stuck in it. If there is, I'm not going to go into detail on how to deal with them. If you want more detail on that, Ryan Moody's got a fantastic video. Look at that, beautiful sized prawn. Ryan Moody's got a fantastic video on how to get box jellyfish out of your cast net. Personally, most of the time, a couple more prawnies, most of the time I've got my kids with me. If I start catching box jellyfish in my cast net, I'm just going to pack up the cast net and go lure fishing. The last thing I need is myself or one of my kids trying to grab a prawn out of the net, getting a handful of box jellyfish or irukandji. That's gonna be a very ordinary day for whoever it is. So I didn't catch enough bait off the pontoon, guys, but that's okay. I'm just gonna throw the cast net from the boat. Because I'm by myself, I'm gonna use the electric motor. If you have someone with you, obviously they can drive you into position. You can throw the net. I live in the Whitsundays, so it's croc country. Not a massive fan of walking the riverbank trying to throw the net. It's a great way to get chewed on, and pretty sure that'll ruin the day. So anyway, I'm gonna get started. I'll just show you an example of where I would throw my net from the boat. Any sort of creek drain, anywhere there's a little back eddy, a little sandbank with a channel behind it, anything like that has a good likelihood of holding bait. So just have a look here. So as you can see, there's a creek drain right there. I've just got the boat on the spot lock within casting distance. There is a crab pot float just up there hanging off that tree. So I know there's a crab pot just in here somewhere. So I'm gonna throw my net just short of the crab pot, because that's obviously gonna destroy my net if I happen to catch that, and then I might upset the crab fishermen as well. Another thing to remember is areas like this, you're gonna catch a lot of juvenile barramundi, juvenile threadfin salmon, and you need to protect the environment, guys. So if you're catching a lot of those, particularly the threadfin, because they're very, very delicate, I would typically, if I catch a couple of little baby threadies, I'll just move on. I'll go and try to catch my bait somewhere else. But if it is happening a lot, a good little tip, the second your net hits the bottom, pull the slack out of the rope and keep it tight the whole way in. Generally, if it's tight, they're less likely to get their head stuck in the mesh. The second the little baby threadies get their head stuck in the mesh and you start trying to pull them out with your fingers, they almost always die. And that's, you know, that's no good for the future generations. I want to make sure that there's plenty of threadfin and barra for my kids to catch and my grandkids to catch, and just look after this beautiful fishery that we have. Anyway guys, I hope that was helpful. See you next time on All About the Fishing.